Good evening, everybody. JB here with a special Clarets match delayed. Now, I did spoiler this last night that we were going to do delayed commentary of today's big game involving Nottingham Forest in the Championship and the current FA and the defending FA Cup winners Arsenal. And true to our word, we're going to do that for you tonight. And actually, it turned out to be an absolute thriller minute, as you'll hear now. If you haven't heard it already or seen it, or what have you, for the next 2 hours, please enjoy the commentary, enjoy the drama and the vigour this game brought, because I can tell you now, I commentated on it, I voiced it all earlier, and it was a magnificent game, a real joy to commentate on. And I hope now you're going to enjoy the next hour and a bit with us as we look on towards this superb game at the City Ground between Nottingham Forest and Arsenal. Big crowd, 28,000 inside the City Ground, and it was good to see Notts Forest really get a tie like this, puts them back in the big time, and takes us back to the time when Brian Clough was the manager, of course, at the City Ground. So let's get over to the City Ground. 4 o'clock was the kick-off time. It's 5 to 4. The teams came out to a rapturous reception at the City Ground. And a warm welcome to the City Ground, where Nottingham Forest, who are 14th in the table and have not had the best of seasons. They've just sacked Mark Warburton. Gary Brazil takes charge. They've had something like 15 managers since Brian Clough retired 25 years ago, and the club has been in steady decline ever since those great days under Brian Clough when they were champions of Europe, league champions, and twice winners of the League Cup in the late 70s, early 70s. But let's have a look at the two lineups for this match this afternoon. Gary Brazil, of course, is the manager. They start with Smith in goal, then it's Lehigh, Joe Worrell, who's highly sought after by Burnley, Mancien and Traore. Then it's Vaughan, Osborne, Cash, Dowell, Clough and Brereton, who was another terrific young lad. And as well for Forest, we'll give you the two benches in a second. For Arsenal, Ospina, Debuchy, Mertesacker, Holding, Maitland-Niles, Elneny, Willock, Walcott and Welby, Nelson and Welbeck. So in theory, 9 changes made by Arsene Wenger for this clash, which could be a real banana skin for the Gunners today. And Forest are going to play 4-4-1-1. Arsenal are going to play 3-4-3. So a real contrasting style here at the City Ground today, and let's hope we get a really good game of football. Brereton will lead the line up front, and Clough will be there too, supporting on the flank as well for Forest. Really is an unbelievable opportunity here for Nottingham Forest, knowing that Arsenal have made 9 changes to the side here today. On the substitutes bench, Mills, Mackay, Henderson, Buchananlis, Walker, Cummings and Velios. For Arsenal, Chambers, Rennie Adelaide, Akprom, De Silva, Macy, Nakataya and Ozzy Tutu. It's not exactly a very strong bench, and there's only a couple of the normal familiar faces in that Arsenal team. But it is a big game. Nottingham Forest, success under Brian Clough many years ago, but have certainly fallen off the pace in recent years. But Gary Brazil, who's brought most of the young players through here at Nottingham Forest, knows that this will be a tough test for his managerial credentials. He's the caretaker manager for the third time. Also, Wenger, in actual fact, has been charged by the FA and been given a touchline ban, so he's not on the touchline for today's game. Arsenal in two-tone blue for this one, attacking the goal to our left, the Trent end at the City Ground, and a great atmosphere. And it should be an absolute thriller minute as we get underway here. Forest in the red shirts, of course, need I tell you. John Moss from Cheshire is the referee. And what a game this really does promise to be here down by the River Trent. It's probably Nottingham Forest's biggest game for many a year. And this really will be a tough examination of Arsenal's credentials as Welby gets possession, and then the ball just goes out to play here for a throw. Some of these young lads will relish the opportunity here for Notts Forest this evening, there's no doubt about that. Long ball forward again, and again Welby trying to win that one in the air. Welbeck is the lone striker today. Nelson there too, number 61. Another throw to Arsenal. Should be, I think it will be a cracking game. Well, the game we covered yesterday at Fleetwood was a cracker, considering that it was a 0-0 draw, but we want to see some goals here today, and that would be my hope. Hopefully Forest could get the shot, but for a cup point of view, that's no true difference to Arsenal, but surely you'd like to fancy Nottingham Forest on this sort of form, that they will really fancy their chances as the ball goes back to goalkeeper Smith, and Smith just bowls it away. Now a chance here for number 42, Joe Wowell. Been heavily linked actually in recent weeks with my team that I support, Burnley, and I think he'll be a great addition to the Clarets, but it all depends on how much Forest have rated him at something like £11 million, which they're quite within their rights to do, I have to say. But I think this will be a really tough ask though for Arsenal. It'll be a tough test for Nottingham Forest, considering that they have a really they've had a really tough season so far. Mark Warburton went, as the ball comes back to Ospina, he kicks away right footed. I just feel that on the day it could well be an opportunity here for Forest to really get themselves an opportunity, and here's a chance now down the near side, and Maitland-Niles now takes the possession. It's always a tough old asking the long ball forward up towards Theo Walcott, and Walcott has got Welbeck in the middle, the cross coming in and turned away by Mancian, who's never won a game against Arsenal. He's the Nottingham Forest skipper, but Theo Walcott, they're just getting in down that left hand channel there, and did really well. And Traore, of course, former Arsenal man himself, will hope to have an interesting feeling of things against his old team. So Walcott to take the corner, far side here. Remember, Arsenal in the two-tone blue attacking the Trent end to our left in this first half. FA Cup third round, there's the ball in, and Forest getting that one away. Couple of goals there to get it away, and they did very well indeed. Of course, some Premier League experience in that Nottingham Forest side. Lee I, who's a former Aston Villa player, and of course Vaughan as well. He had a spell called David Vaughan. He had a spell with Blackpool when they were in the Premier League some 7 years ago, and then went on to Sunderland, where it didn't quite work for him there as it did previously at Blackpool under Ian Holloway when they had that terrific run. And a chance here for Brighton. He's onside, and he chips the ball over the goalkeeper. It's gone wide, but the official on the near side, which is Sean Massey, deciding that the Forest man was offside. I think he's just offside to me. It's a lovely ball playing, and he just cut in from the right, and it was a good spot there by Sean Massey, assisted on that near side. It was a really good spot from her, and I think she's probably a very competent official, although I don't have any doubts about her as an official, although I have criticised a lot of referees in the past, including the one we've got today, John Moss. But this should be a real tough test of Arsenal's real character here, as Maitland-Niles went on a forward run. He's won a throw in here, but I do fancy Forest on this to cause an upset today. We haven't had a great upset. We had Coventry do Stoke yesterday. Burnley were 45 minutes away from not shocking Manchester City before the controversy of the equalising goal, and then City just turned it on after that to win 4-1. So my team's interest in the Cup has ended at the third round stage, which means I can concentrate on the FA Cup from a commentator's point of view without having to be too biased. Which is quite something as a commentator, but as a Burnley fan it was quite heart-wrenching yesterday. But but it was an awful decision from the referee. Berreton's got through it. Berreton shoots and it's straight in the arms of the goalkeeper. She's Davidoff spinner, but Berreton looking very, very composed here in the opening exchanges. I think we've had something like 5 minutes of the first half. Just checking to see how long we've actually had here. Had something like 5 minutes gone in the first half. But it's a good first half though in the vein, and what a chance here at the other end. Walker booking it back, and a well taken again. This time by goalkeeper Smith at the other end for Forest. The coverage we've got it on is a little bit blurry, but we can make up the players anyway. I think we've had 6 minutes gone here. This is the Walcott chance, and it just gets a slight deflection here. Still 0-0, but a really good game I think in the making here. As Arsenal now come forward again. Chance here for Maitland-Niles on the near side. Maitland-Niles knocking it back in there to El Neni, also there too. Shot comes in, deflected, and it's nutted away by Forest, and that will go straight into the arms of young goalkeeper Smith. And once again, Traore doing well. He's the captain of Nottingham Forest, incidentally, the former Arsenal player, and should be a real test against his old team. As Worrell gets that forward towards the far side. Now a chance here to get a long ball in there towards Brereton, and Brereton has done really, is looking lively in these opening 7 or 8 minutes that we've been playing here at the City Ground. 0-0 between Nottingham Forest and Arsenal. Their first meeting though in the FA Cup since 1993. Brian Cost's last game in charge, and it was at Highbury, and Forest lost 2-0. It was a 5th round tie, and Ian Wright got one of the goals that particular afternoon. So Forest have won a few great battles with Arsenal over the years when they were a top division side. Certainly had some memorable wins over Arsenal at the City Ground. I remember in 1978 they beat Arsenal with Archie Gabel scoring, and then they in a televised game in 1991 they beat Arsenal 3-2. They were then the league champions, and Ian Wan got one of the goals, the Burnley assistant managers. That ball knocked in towards the penalty area, but out again. Arsenal the current holders of the FA Cup. Nottingham Forest's last FA Cup win, you have to go back as far back as 1959 for the last time they won this famous old competition. They beat Luton in the final. I think it was 2-1, and in fact several years later, some 30 years later, they did Luton in the FA Cup, in the League Cup final, what was then the Littlewoods Cup, 3-1. Andrew Cook getting a couple of goals then. They haven't won a major trophy incidentally since 1990 when they won the Littlewoods Cup again, beating Oldham in the final. And they had a good side in those days. Steve Sutton, Stuart Pearce, Nigel Clough, the former manager's son, now manager at Burton Albion. And we've got Zach Clough in the Forest team today as Forest wrestle possession and get it over halfway, as they make a good ball with break, and a chance here for Cash to get forward, and Cash does really well, holds the ball up now, brings Leahy into it, midway just inside the Arsenal half. Now the ball's inside the centre circle, and Arsenal, a long ball forward up towards Berreton again. Berreton trying to get the better. Cash is in support. Cash will run at the defenders, as we all know. Leahy. Once again it's Berreton has to get into position again. Forest really looking very confident on the ball in this opening 9 or 10 minutes of the first half. 0-0, and here come Forest again. catching Lehigh. Oh, there was a bad ball there. I think it was intended, but it did get a deflection off number 61 Nelson, and Osborne forcing the issue. I was going to say it was a poor pass, but it did get a deflection, so it is a corner. So it allows the likes of Berriton to come forward from the back. Well, he is a forward. It will allow the likes of Worrell and one or two others. Osborne to take the corner from this near side. Osborne takes long into the penalty area, headed out at the near post. Didn't really get past the first man. Osborne to try again. Osborne to the byline. Osborne gets it back across, very low but very tame in the end, and Maitland-Niles can come away down this near side for Arsenal. Oh, what a good tackle. What an unbelievable sliding tackle there, and Arsenal stopped in their tracks once again. It was Nelson in fact making the break, and in fact it was David Vaughan with the tackle, sliding in there, clearly getting the ball nowhere near the man. Nelson just hit it too far in front, and it allowed David Vaughan to come across and cut it out and concede a throw to Arsenal. And they've taken that throw, now they've bombed the near side, and now all of a sudden they've switched it to the far side at the moment, and Mertesacker now comes forward. 10 minutes of the first half gone. Forest 0, Arsenal 0 in the FA Cup third round. The match delayed, not the Clarets match, the match delayed here on the JB Claret YouTube channel. FA Cup again, back on the YouTube channel after a very successful first year last year when we covered 4 or 5 great games, including the final, which was won by Arsenal by 2-1. Holding getting it forward for Arsenal, still 0-0, and now Maitland-Niles trying to play 1-2 with Nelson, couldn't get the ball back. Vaughan winning it in the midfield area there for Forest. Now Lehigh, the former Aston Villa man, gets the ball forward. Chances here now for Forest to come forward. I do like the look of the young number 14 Cash. He's a very accomplished player. And here's an opportunity though for Arsenal at the other end. Theo Walcott is in there. Welbeck is waiting in the middle. That's towards Danny Welbeck, and the header is wide of the target. And a goal kick. But it was Theo Walcott again on the left hand side, cutting in field, getting the cross in. First time looked like a good cross, but Welbeck's header just lacked a little bit of conviction, and he was under pressure by the centre defender there, Worrell. Gary Brazil having a word with his coaching staff there. But it's nice to see a big crowd inside the City Ground, something like 28,000, and it's the glory days of one since the relegation in the Premier League back in 1999. Forest have been buzzing around the Championship for most of it, but they had a 3-year spell in the mid-noughties in League One, which was, for a club like Forest, was an absolute travesty for them, because I think you look at the stadium, you look at the facilities here, it's all geared up to be a Premier League club. Some of the youngsters they've brought through in the past, Jermaine Genus, Oliver Burke, a lot of great talent that's come through this youth system, and they just haven't had the finances to keep them there. Otherwise I think Nottingham Forest would have been back at the top table by now. But they've got a very good player there in Brereton. I think he's the top scorer, in fact. I'm not sure, but I've not really done too much about Forest. It's the first time I've covered Forest for the YouTube channel. One of the great old clubs of yesteryear, and I think it's about time they got this sleeping giant back to where we think, where everyone thinks they should be, and I think they should be at the top table. You just look at the club and the fan base. It's a great club with a great fan base. Arsenal get a throw, by the way. You're not missing much at the moment, but we've had about 14 minutes gone in the first half. Nottingham Forest 0, Arsenal 0 here at the City Ground. And here comes Nelson. Nelson now looking to toss that forward towards Danny Welbeck. Cut out brilliantly though by Worrell. But here come Arsenal once again with El Neni. Chips that forward towards Walcott. El Neni might get a second goal. And then the long ball forward looking for Berriton. And Berriton might get the one on Mertesacker. He's got to be careful, and gets it back to David Ospina. Well, here's Rob Holding for Arsenal. 0-0. But I tell you what, a good opening quarter of an hour here, and I think we're going to see a goal in this game. I'm pretty sure of this. A good first half developing here. Good first play there towards Welby. Welby trying to play it over to Walcott. The ball was pretty poor really, but it's Debussy who knocked that one back across towards Walcott. Welbeck was in there too. The ball tried to reach Forrest on the edge of the area, and Forrest had sufficient numbers back to defend that. But here comes Nelson now for Arsenal. We're keeping position rather well at the moment, but it is a risk with 9 changes and no Mesut Ozil or no Alexis Sanchez. So Wenger, really, is he saving his big guns for the League Cup semi-final on Wednesday? And it's a game you can hear live on the JB Claret YouTube channel. Arsenal versus Chelsea, League Cup semi-final. You can hear that with us. Meanwhile, it's a free kick to Arsenal just inside the centre circle. I think he's wave play on there, John Moss. Either that or he's let a quick free kick taken from actually the wrong position. I don't know, but excuse me, we're just banging something against the commentary desk. Meanwhile, Walcott on the far side, the ball out of play, and it's off Manchin. In fact, Walcott has given away a goal kick. He tried to trick Manchin here. In fact, I think he was trying to Manchin did well there, stood his ground and didn't give Beal Walcott anything to at that precise moment. But I think Gary Brazil will be very happy with the way the first 16 and a bit minutes have certainly gone here at the City Ground. 0-0 is the score. And here come Arsenal in that two-tone blue again. Welby trying to get past his man, but again, good tackle there by Vaughan. And at the moment, Forest very assured in defence. They're young, inexperienced centre-backs. Warren is certainly keeping Danny Welbeck at bay at the moment. And I think this is going to be a real game of fruition now. Then a chance here now for Clough on the near side, on the far side. It's Zach Clough cutting in. Zach Clough now for Nottingham Forest. They almost got all the way, and then Cash shoots and just wide of the target. Really good effort there by young Cash, right across the face of the goal from just to the right of the penalty area, and he almost struck the first goal in this scintillating third round tie. A good enterprising run initially down the left hand side by Zach Clough. Just watch him here, takes on Mertesacker, an absolute, well, Mertesacker got a good footing, but Cash, on another day, that goes into the far corner. And Nottingham Forest so close here in this 17th minute to taking the lead in this third round FA Cup. Corner to Nottingham Forest, far side, the ball comes in towards the penalty area, nodded out once again. Now Manchin knocks the ball out to the far side. Clough will take it on this side. Plenty to aim for in the middle if he can get his head up. He gets a decent cross in now. Spina with a fist away, and it's going to run out for a throw level with the edge of the Arsenal penalty area, and it's Nottingham Forest here on the front foot. Interesting stuff this now. Here's a chance for Berreton inside the area. Can he knock the ball back? It's going to go for a corner. Off the defender it will be, and I think it's off El Neni. So Cash really almost cashing in there for Forest. And the corner to be taken by Dow from the near side. Dow goes short this time, and he'll get the ball back. Dow again. Oh, he was tripped there, surely. No, a corner given. But I tell you what, Arsenal really are on the back foot. I think he has given the free kick, John Moss. So this is a real testing times now for Arsenal. We have Clough and Dow over this free kick. This is a real tricky moment, this. Lehigh has come forward as well. It's going to be Dow to take it with the left foot, I would expect. Zach Clough is also wanting a piece of it as well. So here comes the free kick. It's going to come in from the right hand side here. We're into the 19th. We've had 19 minutes. Dow plays it into one in there. Post it in. It's in and it's Lehigh from 2 yards out. And Nottingham Forest are in the lead. He couldn't miss. And what a super free kick from young Dow. And Eric Lehigh, the former Aston Villa man, has just hit a crucial blow for Nottingham Forest. And Arsene Wenger sitting in the stands. Well, he's got problems. He's definitely onside because the Wolves putting him on. Terrific free kick, and David Ospina will be absolutely furious with himself because I think he should do better from this. And he's allowed Eric Leahy in to put Nottingham Forest into the lead. 20 minutes gone of this FA Cup tie, and it's Eric Leahy, the former Villa man, the man who's actually got the Premier League experience in that Nottingham Forest side. What a moment for him, and what a moment for Nottingham Forest and their supporters. 1-0 they lead, and now we've got a game on now, and Arsenal now have to come out and attack because they know now they're in a cup tie. Eric Leahy, here's Nelson on the near side for Arsenal, trailing Nottingham Forest by a 1-0, but Forest pinching the ball back illegally inside the centre circle, so free kick to Arsenal. But Eric Leahy, what a moment for him. And Arsene Wenger sits in the stand, hand over his mouth, cannot believe it now. He's sitting very forlorn, a very forlorn character. And now Arsenal, who are in blue, trail to the men in red, which are Nottingham Forest. I tell you what, the roar from the City Ground took you back to a bygone day when Brian Clough was so successful. Nottingham Forest's most successful manager, was at the club for 18 years. My goodness, he turned them in from also around. How they could do with another Brian Clough now to really turn their fortunes around. But Gary Brazil's not doing a bad job here in this cup tie, is he? Tactically, he's got it spot on. But there's still a long way to go yet. Arsenal have still got enough quality, you think, out on that field to get back into this game. And here they come again with a Welby. Near side, back inside. Good 1-2 with Elneny. Now then, left hand side. Ball back to Nelson. Nelson pirouetting very well, and then he's brought down. And a free kick to Nottingham Forest. Free kick against Nottingham Forest, I should say. Foul there by Cash. And now Arsenal have got the chance to hit back from a set play themselves. It was good defensive play. Got away from Vaughan, but not from Cash, who absolutely tripped him over. So a free kick to Arsenal, and how they could do with an equaliser right now. Again, this time from the left hand side. The first one came from the right. Smith making sure that the wall is rock solid. Phil Walcott to take it. He'll float it in from the left hand side, right footed, as he swings it in right footed in towards the penalty area. Good save. It was Mertesacker, and Mertesacker again on the rebound has equalised for Arsenal. It's 1-1 here at the City Ground. Nottingham Forest lead lasted barely 3 minutes. The Arsenal captain, who scored in the final last season, has equalised here. There's the free kick, chipped in there. Mertesacker, in fact it came off the post, and then it came back to Mertesacker, who made it 1-1. And there it is. So that free kick given away by Cash, a little bit of inexperience shown by the young number 14, has cost Nottingham Forest dearly. And it's 1-1, and Arsenal now on the attack with Welbeck. Now then, a Welby first time cross and cut out again, this time by Worrell. A Welby again. And now Arsenal looking to put their stranglehold. It just looked as if the cup fairy tale was on, and all hope of a romantic cup upset was on the cards for no more than 3 minutes. Arsenal restoring parity from a set play, and they're not we're now too renowned for scoring set plays, but they'll take any goal on offer at the moment, Arsenal, when they're behind in a cup tie of this sort of magnitude. As Mertesacker finds Holding deep inside his own half. Holding to find Maitland-Niles. Now Nelson knocking it back again to Holding, and it's got Ospina in support here. So we're halfway through the first half, and it's 1-1, and I have to say, Forest will feel hard done by, but it was a free kick which led to the equalising goal, as Arsenal again built down that left hand side through Ainsley Maitland-Niles. In fact, a goal kick's been given to the disgusted Maitland-Niles, who kicks the ball away. The referee, John Moss, no yellow cards has yet to issue at this moment in time. And it's been far from a dirty game so far as we come up towards 25 minutes of the first half gone. The match delayed, not the Clarets match delayed. I keep saying it. We've covered a lot of Burnley games in recent weeks on the channel, so I've got into the habit of saying it, but it is the match, the FA Cup third round here on the JB Claret YouTube channel. 1-1, and we are delayed, but we are commentating live on this, but you'll hear it delayed. There's one more tie to come after this tomorrow night, and that's the derby between Brighton and Crystal Palace at the Amex, and they're trying the television system as well, which will be interesting to see. Here's Cash breaks down the right hand side for Nottingham Forest. Cross was a bit tame, it was easily cut out, and now Arsenal in the two-tone blue can attack again, and here goes Phil Walcott on that far side, and he finds Debuchy, and now the ball back inside. El Neni turns, finds Willock, and now a chance here for Nelson to come forward. Arsenal plays a 1-2 with Iwobi, then gets it back again. Lovely football this now from Arsenal, caressing the ball around as if it was a painter with a paintbrush, really. Welbeck has gone down, and a free kick to Arsenal. David Vaughan, a very experienced head, and he needs to be in that Nottingham Forest side, is the man who's tripped Danny Welbeck up. I think that's a good decision from John Moss. It's 35 yards out, just to the left of centre, this free kick. Forest conceded from a set play not 4 or 5 minutes ago. After taking the lead after 20 minutes, they can't afford to concede another one from here. Literally can't concede another one. They've taken the free kick short and quickly. Caught even the commentator off guard here as that ball's threaded in, but not David Vaughan as he hushes it back to goalkeeper Smith. Smith kicks just over halfway, finds Berriton, but Berriton's header back only finds an Arsenal man, and here comes Nelson to Iwobi, back to Nelson again. This is good football, this from Arsenal, good football all the way, and no foul again. Forest again, good defending again, good tackling, and they've done really well, I think, Forest, as regards the tackling, but it was a little bit of silly inexperience really from young Cash, who gave the free kick away, which led to the equalising goal for Per Mertesacker. Maitland-Niles has picked up a knock there. Boris 1, Arsenal 1. We've had just around 27 minutes of the first half, and it's been I think this has been probably the best FA Cup tie of the weekend so far. I think even better than the Merseyside Cup tie on Friday night, when Liverpool and Everton really faced off in an absolute corker to kick everything off. There's a good tackle again on Maitland-Niles. There was nothing wrong about that. It was a fairly feisty but fair tackle again, and Arsenal have it on the far side with Walcott trying to run down that side. Still Walcott has it down the left hand side, he's had to pirouette from a couple of Nottingham Forest challenges, and in the end they've lost possession, and now this could be problems here as Forest go on the break with Zach Clough. He's got Berriton up ahead of him, has to go in field to David Vaughan, the experienced, the wily old professional, trying to get it forward, but Forest just taking their time now. And has that been kept in there by Lehigh? No, it hasn't. And a throw on the halfway line to Arsenal. 1-1. 2 goals in 3 minutes. It's been a super start to the game as the throw is taken by Arsenal. Back to Nelson once again. Nelson on the left knocks the ball back again to his edge of his own D and to David Ospina, who you have to say was at fault for Lehigh's goal from that beautifully taken free kick by Dow. Got it into the one spot and noticed the run of Lehigh, and still 1-1 here, and I've got to tell you, it's been an unbelievable first half here at the City Ground. The best, I think, FA Cup tie. As I said, Brighton Crystal Palace is a tomorrow night. We will not be covering that game because that'll be otherwise engaged with the day job. But we will be bringing you Carabao Cup action, and then back to the Premier League this time next weekend, and we'll have Burnley's latest match against Crystal Palace for you at Selhurst Park. Full commentary of that next weekend as that ball comes in towards the penalty area and hooked away, but not very far by Arsenal. Now a chance in there from Maitland-Niles. Can he keep his feet? Then a shot from about 20 yards from Alex Iwobi, which just goes into the Trent end for a goal kick to Nottingham Forest. It's a cold day. You need coffee on a day like today. Hot drinks. In the olden days it was Bovril. We'll just see a replay of Iwobi side-footing his right-footed attempt from 20 yards just to the left of the D over into the Trent end for a goal kick. Reminder of the goal scorers: 20 minutes were on the clock when Lehigh headed in from a terrific free kick from the right hand side by Dow, and then from Walcott's free kick from the left after a bit of a pinball machine when Arsenal hit the post. The rebound fell very invitingly to Per Mertesacker, who just slashed it in from 6 yards, and Arsenal were back in the game. 1-1 here at the City Ground. A good first half here developing, and lots of great football, lots of great incidents as well for us to share and enjoy with as Holding gets it forward for Arsenal, but it's cut out. And now a chance here for Berriton. He's through. It's young Berriton now. He's taking them all on. Berriton shoots. Good save. Ospina inside the penalty area, struck it well with his left foot, and the goalkeeper diving away to his right hand side, making a fantastic save to keep Arsenal at 1-1 here. This is a super match, and then a loose ball picked up again. Now a chance here for Cash, and now Berriton again. Out comes the goalkeeper on the edge of his penalty area, perilously close to the edge of the penalty area. He just kept it in there. Sean Massey kept a close eye on the situation on the near side, the official there. The flag stayed down. Sean Massey was quite happy that was onside, and also made sure that Ospina had the ball in the penalty area, because if he had picked it up outside, it would have been a deliberate handball and a yellow card and a free kick to Nottingham Forest. As it is, it's still 1-1, and Arsenal have possession here with Maitland-Niles, and he's giving it away now. Cash takes it up for Forest. What a first half this has been. Down by the River Trent. Now Vaughan through the centre circle, the experienced Wiley campaigner. And this game really coming to the fore here as Iwobi breaks down the left hand side for Arsenal. Beats one man, beats another. Infield it goes. Now Iwobi has the shot, and it's deflected away for a corner. Nelson had led the initial break as well, and it was a good bit of defending there by young Dow, number 20. Some of these sides have been, some of this Nottingham Forest team have been coached by Gary Brazil because his day job actually is the youth team manager. In fact, it wasn't. It was Joe Worrell who got the block in. Corner to Arsenal. Phil Walcott sends it into the mixer once again and headed away again. This time I think it was by Mancian for Nottingham Forest. What a first half we've had here at the City Ground. We've had over half an hour gone. Here's Arsenal now on the breakout. Can they get something here? It's a little bit of a scramble on the edge of that Forest area. Now they've got the possession here, and Berriton is onside again. But it's 4 against 2 in Arsenal's favour as Berriton goes towards the goal. Good tackle again by the Arsenal defenders. Still 1-1 here as we come up towards 34 minutes of the first half gone. And this game really coming to the boil. It's a cup tie that has really had a lot. Goals, contentious decisions, great football, and the underdogs, Nottingham Forest, really looking very comfortable against Arsenal at the moment. I have to say, apart from the goal, Smith hasn't had too much to do in the Notts Forest goal so far. Excuse me, which says a lot about Arsenal really. Apart from the goal, they've not really created too many key opportunities. Walcott's probably got the more likely. Welbeck has been very nullified by the likes of Joe Warren and Mancien. Now then, a chance here for the cross team to the penalty area. Nelson with the cross, but nodded away It'll come out here to El Neni. El Neni playing it through to Welbeck. Welbeck tries to dig it in, and then Walcott is offside. There was a great save initially there by Smith. The linesman on the far side had the flag up. And Nottingham Forest, for the moment anyway, survive, and that is the correct decision. It was against Danny Welbeck actually, not Theo Walcott, who tried to put the rebound home, but the initial offside was from Danny Welbeck. But Nottingham Forest here with another chance here. Berriton through, beats one man, absolutely takes out goes past Mertesacker as if he hadn't existed, and then gets his shot in left-footed, and David Ospina getting a big right hand on it, diving away to his right, palming it up in the air, and then catching it at the second time of asking. That was marvellous goalkeeping really from the Spanish goalkeeper. Inside the last 10 minutes here at the City Ground, of the first half that is. I think Gary Brazil will be very, very encouraged by the way his team have performed so far in this FA Cup tie. Third round of the FA Cup. Arsene Wenger's never actually been knocked out of the FA Cup in the third round. Here goes Nelson. Good tackle again by Worrell. Did really well there down the right hand side. Throw to an Arsenal. Arsenal have had no more possession. They've had about 80% of possession. Nottingham Forest have just had the 20%, but it's what you do with that possession that counts. And this is why we're at 1-1, and Forest are giving Arsenal a real examination, a real test at the City Ground this afternoon. Forest get possession and Vaughan, the wily old professional, getting it away, but only as far as Debuchy. Debuchy playing it infield. Arsenal just keeping possession here with El Neni, and then he just touches it back to Per Mertesacker. Now holding for Arsenal. Still 1-1. Coming up towards the latter stages, we've had 38 minutes at the City Ground, and well, 37 minutes I should say at the City Ground. It's 1-1 here between Forest and Arsenal. Good running again, this time by Iwobi. Welbeck waits in the centre. Here's Nelson. Nelson takes it up, finds El Neni. Now Maitland-Niles. Now Nelson. Nelson on the left hand side finds Maitland-Niles. Back in field again. Arsenal looking to pick a way through here. Deep inside Forest territory. A chance here inside the area for Walcott. He couldn't get past the second man. Tried to probably do too much there, Phil Walcott. He had about 6 players back, Nottingham Forest, and it would have taken something special for Phil Walcott to have done all that, and then slid the ball past Smith. The side who are 5th in the Premier League, struggling against a team that are managerless, and are 14th in the Championship. But here's a chance now for Welbeck, edge of the penalty area. In fact, it's Welbeck playing the ball back, or Robert Walcott, sorry, playing the ball back. And again, good defending by Nottingham Forest. They're having a day and a half here. Lehigh with the interception. Look at Walcott again, turning away from his man. And look at that. That was cool defending by Eric Lehigh, the former Aston Villa man. Scored a goal, and it's done really well so far as that cross comes in towards the penalty area, and Lehigh just coolly chests it back to goalkeeper Smith. Well, I wouldn't like to call who will get the next goal. You feel that from a romantics point of view that Nottingham Forest there'll be a lot of people cheering on for Forest to get the second goal, which would put Arsenal's backs well and truly up against the wall. But they are a quality side, and they're not 5th in the Premier League for nothing. There's the shot coming in, and the goalkeeper having to tip that one away. Well, I don't think it was touched by the goalkeeper. It was Maitland-Niles with the shot. I don't think it was going in by the near post. In fact, it wasn't. It was Nelson with the shot. I apologise, and I think the goalkeeper had it covered anyway. He did. So young Nelson with the shot that just went wide. So 1-1 is the score at the City Ground between Forest and Arsenal. And it's been a really interesting first half here. We've got some big games coming up on the YouTube channel. FA Cup 4th round, League Cup semi-final, the League Cup final of course in the next 4 or 5 weeks, of course. Wembley, just not far away, end of February, early March, the final of the Carabao competition. The first major domestic cup final. Bristol City are in them semi-finals, of course. They play Manchester City at the Etihad on Tuesday, and I think if they can get at least a draw from that first game and not lose too heavily, if they lose 1-0, I have a feeling they could go back to Ashton Gate for the second leg and really have a go at City, because they are beatable. Burnley were 45 minutes from beating them yesterday, and a contentious refereeing decision really undid them, unfortunately. But the other 3 goals were works of art really for Manchester City. But at the end of the day, in this game, it's been the work of art of some terrific football. And now a chance again for Berriton. He's straight through again. Berriton shoots, and it's a great save by David Ospina. And Arsenal again, and Per Mertesacker wanting again on a one-on-one race. Forest really breaking that offside trap to terrific effect. And Berriton here could have had a hat-trick in this first half, and that's no exaggeration. Arsenal now breaking out. The corner broke down, and here's Danny Welbeck at the other end. It's been an end-to-end game, this, hasn't it? And now a chance here for Forest to come forward. Now Lehigh takes possession, and the ball is well intercepted, and it will be a throw here. Elneny charging that down. But Berriton with a big opportunity here for Nottingham Forest, and that's a good save by David Ospina. Hit it well, right-footed, and it was low down, and it made the save that little bit more better really, because it was a tricky shot to save really, diving away to his left by the Spanish goalkeeper. As Lehigh thumps that ball long for Forest again, and Berriton again on the shoulder of the last defender. He's really having a lot of joy against that Forest defence, and they get a throw-in for it. And I have to say, Olding kicked the ball there. I think that's a little bit of dissent really from Olding. I think he should be spoken to there, because he kicked the ball definitely out of play and tried to waste a bit of time. Meanwhile, David Ospina is down on his haunches in his goal mouth, and I think his hand is injured, and I think they might have to get the trainer on here at this point, which will just slow the game up a tad. Just having a, yeah, I think he's probably just dislocated a finger a little bit, and it's gone back in. David Ospina though is a tough character, and he will carry on regardless now. See it out till half time, I would have thought. So Lehigh comes to take the throw, about 10 yards, in fact level with the edge of the Arsenal penalty area. In fact, a little bit closer than that, about 5 yards in from the corner flag. And he takes the throw quickly, back again once more. Lehigh tries to get the crossing now. It's a throw level on the right hand side with the penalty area of Arsenal. Is there a twist in the tail before half time? If Forest could get that goal they so desperately crave, my word, what a second half we're in for here. Here's Lehigh down the right hand side, tries to play a 1-2 with Cash, and Cash does well, gets the cross. It is a terrific cross, headed away again, and the ball comes back again. Lehigh chests it, hits it right foot, it's gone right into the top corner of the net. It's the goal of the third round for me, and Gary Brazil's side lead 2-1 right on the stroke of half time. What a goal by Lehigh! It's his second goal, and what a goal! Beautifully taken. Here it is again, the replay. Cash did terrifically well down the right. There's the cross. Arsenal didn't defend it well. They had 3 goals to get in the way. Lehigh on his chest, and then right foot first time on the volley. And it went like an arrow into the top left hand corner of the net. Ospina didn't even have a hope of saving it, and Nottingham Forest are back in front in the FA Cup third round. Is the shock of the tournament so far. Well and truly on in the third round. Nonchalantly just smashes it in with his right foot, loops into the top corner. Gary Brazil shakes his head in wonderment. Right on the stroke of the break, Eric Leahy has done it for Nottingham Forest. And the smiles, well, his smile will be broader than the River Trent, I would have thought, as Forest come forward charging for another one before half time. 2-1 now. I think we've got 200 minutes at the end of the first half, folks, but what a first half it has been. 2-1 and a real encounter, really, when you think about it. Arsenal really up against it now as that ball is chipped in there. Oh my goodness me, we've got a shock on here as the shot comes in from about 40 yards. Nelson with the shot and it's well wide of target. Deep into time added on here at the City Ground, and I don't think we'll ever tire of seeing the goal from Leahy. That's just put Forest back in front for the second time, and it's got to be a contender for FA Cup goal of round 3 this. I think it is the goal of the round. What about that? Just skill and precision involved, and what a fantastic goal. Eric Leahy will never score a better goal in his entire career, or his life for that matter. And look what it meant to the Nottingham Forest fans. Magnificent. And the ball forward once again, looking towards Welbeck, who can't keep that in play. And he's looking frustrated. He looks a forlorn figure, to be quite honest. Danny Welbeck hasn't even had a kick. And what does Arsene Wenger do here? I think he's making his way down to the dressing room here at the City Ground to start probably for giving them the hairdryer treatment, because they've not really turned it up at all, apart from that one set play they scored from. Defensively they've looked a shambles, and Arsenal here in big trouble as we're now seconds away from half time. All eyes will be on John Moss to blow the half time whistle here. What a performance. There goes the half time whistle. And Nottingham Forest in the Championship lead by 2-1. 2 goals from Eric Leahy. The second, a terrific strike into the back of the net. In between that, a goal from a set piece from Per Mertesacker. And Arsenal trail at the break. Half time here as we take a quick 2-minute break. Then the second half. Delayed from the City Ground. It's Nottingham Forest 2, Arsenal 1. And a warm welcome back to the match delayed from the City Ground, as Eric Lee has everybody here at the stadium digests a terrific 20-yard looping volley from Eric Lehigh, his second goal of the game. And Arsenal are in 2-1 down as the second half kicks underway. So Forest in the ascendancy here as we kick off in the second half. Remember, just to remind everybody, the FA Cup rules: if it does end a draw today, should Arsenal get an equaliser and there's no further scoring, then there will be no extra time, no penalties. We will have a replay on Wednesday week at the Emirates Stadium. But we're a long way off a replay yet. Forest know 45 minutes away, but they know the dangers are there. Let's just run through the sides for you. Forest with Smith, Lehigh with 2 goals, Worrell, Mancienne, Traore, Vaughan, Osborne, Cash, Dowell, who laid on the first goal, Clough, Zach Clough and young Brereton up front. On the bench for them, Mackay, Mills, Henderson, Bucaralis, Walker, Tyler Walker, the son of Des Walker of course, Cummings and Velios. For Arsenal, they've got David Ospina in goal, Debuchy, Mertesacker, Holding, Maitland-Niles, El Neni, as Walcott comes forward, Debuchy rather comes forward for Arsenal, and they've got possession. Willock, Walcott, Iwobi, Nelson and Danny Welbeck. The Chambers, Ronnie Adelaide, Akprom, De Silva, Macy, Nikitara and Ossie Tutu are amongst the substitutes here for Nottingham for Arsenal rather. It's Nottingham Forest, I should say, come forward here. But Arsenal now looking to try and break back with Nelson. Gets to the byline, cross back in towards the penalty area and smuggled out for a goal kick. Shown 1 or 2 promising runs, young Nelson for Arsenal. Arsene Wenger back in his director's box seat for the second half of the game. Steve Bold is patrolling down on the touchline this afternoon in his technical area. So far, it's not been a good afternoon for those two, and if Arsenal were to lose here, I think Arsenal Fan TV would be in definite meltdown here. That is for sure. I wouldn't envy young Robbie, who runs that channel, having to interview all those supporters outside the ground after the game. But we're a long way off all that yet. 47 minutes on the clock, but Arsenal trail 2-1 here at the City Ground here in Nottingham, and they've, to be fair, I think Forest do deserve it. They've been the more enterprising team. They've created the better chances. Now Debuchy down that right hand side, try to feed in towards Welbeck, who tried to feed in towards Walcott. It's a throw to Arsenal on the right hand side, deep inside that Forest off the field. Forest, for the record, attacking the Trent end. They're in blue. Arsenal in the 2-tone blue strip for the second half. But they trail 2-1. The cup holders on less than 45 minutes away from the exit door at the first hurdle. Arsene Wenger's never lost as Arsenal manager in the 3rd round of the FA Cup. The last time they lost in the 3rd round was when Bruce Rowe was the manager back in 1996 against Sheffield United at Bramall Lane. This is Brereton for Forest, just drifting out to the right hand side. And then the ball comes back to Eric Lehigh. Now Vaughan has got Traore in space on halfway, and then has to play it back to Mancienne, and Mancienne does well here. The former Chelsea youngster, good running, purposeful running, but then he gives the ball away to Bucci, to Walcott. Walcott has got Welbeck in the centre. Now the ball back in field. This is a good game this now. Arsenal looking for this equalising goal. Nelson, can he chip the ball back? On the far side, no he won't, but it's still Arsenal pressing for this equalising goal. And wow, what a good tackle that was by Traore, getting his body in the way of that. Former Arsenal man want to do well against the team that let him go. I'm sure the interviews after the game will be something very spectacular. If Arsenal were to lose out, I want to know what Arsene Wenger's feelings will be. Arsenal Fan TV will be, as I say, meltdown, but there's still a long way to go yet in this game. And at the moment it's But at the moment I think we've got a real cup tie atmosphere on our hands here. As Debuchy comes forward now, gets the crossing from the right, and well taken superbly there by Smith in the Forest goal. Has done magnificently well. Terrific piece of goalkeeping there. It really was. Very comfortable. Lancashire needs the captain now for the second period. Ball forward once more, and a chance again for Forest to break through Berriton. Got Clough and Cash up with him as well. Still Berriton has it on the right hand side. Just running into traffic a little bit there. The ball's gone out to play. I'll tell you what, young Berriton has worked very, very hard up front. I think he's been terrific, Ben Berriton. I really am. I'm impressed with the young guy. I think he has a bright future in the game. One or two potential suitors looking at him. Of course, there's also Joe Worrell, of course, a promising centre back. Won the World Cup with the England under-20s, of course, back in the summer. Well, the England youth sides had terrific success in their respective World Cup competitions, so the future of English football, if nurtured right, could well be still in decent hands. But back to the present. But that's all for the future. Now back to the present. Arsenal attacking now with Nelson. Forest having to be red alert, and Lehigh was certainly red alert. He's had a terrific game, the former Aston Villa man. Given away though. And here come Arsenal now trying to hit back straight away. Welbeck was the furthest man forward, but so too was Traore. Did really well there, the former Arsenal man. He's had a super match against his old team. Arsene Wenger will be cursing the day he let him go, because he's come back so far to haunt his former manager. We've had about 50 minutes of the second half, or the first half, sorry. Or 50 minutes of the game, 5 minutes of the second half, I apologise. And Arsenal now looking to break the stalemate here with Walcott. On the right hand side, has to go back to Mertesacker. El Neni on halfway. Plays it out to that side, and just doesn't look as if Arsenal are at any point here penetrating this Nottingham Forest side at the moment. They've got plenty of red shirts back defending behind the ball. They've got to have Arsenal have all the possession. They're very happy to let them have possession, but at the same time it's not looking good for the Gunners, and they're getting frustrated here. Nelson picks it up on the far side, and he runs in field back to Iwobi, back to Nelson again. Welbeck waits in the centre. Walcott was there at the far post. Once again Lehigh getting himself in the way of that. He's had a superb match for me, Eric Lehigh. But Berriton is going to be running him close, I think, for the Man of the Match award. Here's a chance here for Debuchy. Gets the cross in. It's a good one, and a goalkeeper again. Smith, who's had a faultless game so far, confidently and competently pucks it out of the air inside his 6-yard box. It was a dangerous looking cross by Debuchy. Now Vaughan has it, trying to get Berriton forward. It's Ben Berriton for Nottingham Forest. He couldn't control it this time. But I tell you what, they are hungrier, there's no doubt about it. Arsenal's definitely having around about 70% possession at the moment. Matty Cash is having a good game, so too is Ben Berriton. All the young lads really rising to the occasion for Forest tonight. And I'm sure if Brian Clough is looking down on the City ground right now, he'd be proud of that team. But here comes Debuchy now, gets a low cross in. Well, rather Walcott got the low cross in, I should say. And well defended again by Traore. Again, he's battling hard with the Arsenal man. He's had a fine game tonight, Traore. He really has, and we're going to see a substitution, I think. Number 34. I'll tell you that is in a second. I think it's going to be Walker, Tyler Walker, in fact. I think he might be replacing Zach Clough. Here come Arsenal now, looking to try and get back into this game here. Forest, who haven't won in 5 games, of course, in all competitions, on the brink here. Is it going to be an equaliser? Crossing side to the penalty area, no one in the area to reach it. Danny Welbeck was there, but he couldn't reach it. and that's one of the reasons why I don't think he should be playing for England, because I don't think he has too many average games, Danny Welbeck, and that's really not good enough for a guy of his undoubted talent. Came through the ranks under Alex Ferguson at Manchester United, and he's just not delivered for me. Actually, Ainsley Maitland-Niles there too, but there comes the substitution for Nottingham Forest. Tyler Walker, an attacker. His father again was a Nottingham Forest icon, Des Walker, a great centre back in his day. But Jack Clough has done really well. Didn't get a goal, but he was very good and gets a good handshake and a pat on the back from the caretaker manager Gary Brazil. It's his third stint as caretaker boss in as many years. The Brian Clough standard on the far side. I'm sure if old Big Ed was watching down on us now, I think he'd be quite proud of how his former charges have done. As the long ball comes forward once again for Nottingham Forest. And Mertesacker in to clear it there. He had some terrific wins over Arsenal, as I was saying in the first half. As Walcott takes it up, Debuchy's running down on the overlap on the right hand side. Debuchy having to pirouette. Has to pirouette back though to Mertesacker. Mertesacker finding El Neni. Arsenal in big trouble here in this third round of the FA Cup in association with Emirates. As Arsenal now looking for this equaliser. Crossing from the left hand side, nodded away by Worrell. A terrific header away by Joe Worrell. Potential suitors like Burnley are looking at him as a possible, well, we're going to say a possible replacement to James Tarkowski, but he's just signed a 4.5-year deal with Burnley. Didn't actually feature in the game yesterday at Manchester City. Had a knock and Stephen Defoe didn't take part, but we'll mention them on another day. Here's Arsenal come charging forward. Arsenal player were bundled to the ground, but legally, says the referee. And really this, I think it's going to be, Arsenal not happy about something or other. They've got a free kick here, and it's Berriton. It's that man Berriton again, drawing a free kick from Holding, who clearly was pushing him. I haven't got the slightest clue why Holding would have to complain. He's going to talk himself into the book if he's not careful, Holding. There's no doubt he's got a piece of his shirt, and then he's pushing him there, and John Moss making that point perfectly clear to him here, telling that he's not happy about it. As Boris now let to go and grab a third, that would, and Arsenal's interest in the FA Cup once and for all. We're coming up to 57 minutes gone. Where's the second half gone from? It's been an amazing second half. To watch and describe for you here on the YouTube channel. The City ground holds its breath. Maitland-Niles losing out again. Now then, chance here, or Maitland-Niles actually getting in the way, I should say. But once again, Forest knocking it forward, but then Arsenal getting it forward towards Walcott. And once again, Joe Worrell, right place, right time, or rather Mancian, I should say. Right place, right time. The Forest captain, superb. Absolutely has had a game and a half. Walcott has been fouled. John Moss now starting to tot up the three kicks. David Thorne, the guilty party here. But it was a foul and it will be. He had a fistful of shirt and he tugged him down. I think the referee was quite right to give it. Phil Walcott up behind this one on the right hand side. 10 yards from the penalty area. Referee having words or two here with it's Mancian here, and so far we've yet to see a yellow card in the game, and I think that's testament to the way the game has been disciplined. The refereed it was certain grace. Meanwhile, a free kick. And Arsenal looking to get back in the game. At the moment, it's going to be all hands on deck. There's a bit of pushing and jostling going on inside that, on the edge of the Forest penalty area. Referee John Moss will stand no nonsense as Walcott sends that free kick into the penalty area, and the goalkeeper does well. Positioned himself perfectly inside the area and went through a Forest of players. I think Welbeck went for it, or tried to go for it, but he didn't get there, and the goalkeeper Smith gambled and got there. Took the ball very cleanly. We're coming up towards an hour gone, I think. Now we've had an hour, quarter of an hour of the second half, and Forest now on the break with Tyler Walker. Walker doing terrifically well. Can he get the ball into the area? Berrington is there inside the 6-yard box, and he almost got the third. That was wonderful running by the young substitute here. Tyler Walker did terrifically well. A beautiful cross in, and young Ben Berrington, so close to really wrapping it up for Nottingham Forest. It was a really super ball in. Arsenal at 6s and 7s at the back and just needed to hit the target. In fact, it came off holding. It's a corner, and Youngdahl will take it. Sends it in from the left hand side. It comes out once again. Forest going for the kill here, trying to kill off this tie. Ball towards the penalty area, and Arsenal, and the shot came in from 20 yards. It was looping from David Vaughan, the former Blackpool man, and a goal kick it is to Arsenal, to their immense relief, I would confess. Well, young Tyler Walker there creating a great opportunity down the right hand side. He looks a lively young player. It's the first time I've actually seen Tyler Walker, the son of Des, of course. England defender for many years, Forest legend, played for Sampdoria, played for Sheffield Wednesday, of course, Des Walker. That's how Nenny fouls Dow, or I thought he fouled Dow, but the referee had played on. Again, match stats 79% to 70% to 30% in Arsenal's favour, but doesn't tell the whole story of the game, I'm afraid. And here's a chance now for Arsenal. Can they get the ball into the right hand side? Forest just usher it back to the goalkeeper. He's got to take his time, got to get it away very quickly, and he did well, did Smith. He did exactly the right thing, and now he's been fouled, and now Forest player's been fouled. It's Berrington again. He's been here, there and everywhere, and he's certainly got to be one of the leading contenders for the man of the match here. Taken out by Oldin, who's got to watch himself. He's already been done once for pushing. Any more like that, and I think John Moss may well have to get his yellow card out. Free kick to Nottingham Forest, 10 yards from the halfway line on the right hand side, and it's hoisted long towards the area. And the ball in there towards Cash. Cash inside, and the ball back in there. Cash goes down, and the referee's given a penalty. The referee's given a penalty for a foul on Cash. And now Arsenal could be well and truly sunk with 63 minutes gone. Darren Ospina arguing the case, but I don't think there's a case to answer here. Mertesacker found wanting. Cash was surely tripped down. It's a penalty for me. A referee's got it spot on. It's a silly challenge. It's Rob Holding who's been penalised. And now Arsenal could be on the verge of a cup exit. Wenger knows this could be curtains if this goes in. And the penalty will be taken here by Ben Berrington, who has run Arsenal ragged throughout the afternoon. And now he'll step up right-footed from 12 yards to try and make the game safe for Forest. Berrington right-footed in! Down the middle it goes! And Nottingham Forest lead by 3-1. It's a super game for Nottingham Forest. And the Trent interrupts. 3-1 Forest. And Arsenal now look a beaten team. Holding holds his hands on his hips. But what a cool penalty that was from Berrington, right in the corner. And in it goes, right foot, sends the keeper the wrong way. And Nottingham Forest are in complete control of this FA Cup tie now. It's theirs to lose. They've got a 2-goal buffer. And you know what? It's fantastically and richly deserved. And Rob Holding will hang his head for all it's worth. And Arsenal now, even with 25 minutes of this tie to go, need snookers. Nottingham Forest 3, Arsenal 1, and we could see the upset of the third round of this season's FA Cup in association with the Emirates. 3-1 here on the JB Claret YouTube channel, delayed commentary of this Super Cup tie. And the meaty challenges keep flying in, and now Berriton on the break again for Forest. I tell you what, Holding has had his hands full. He's given away some silly 3 kicks, and then the ultimate insult to injury for him, a clumsy penalty he conceded, and it was a daft one, and they go down. Well, I think Tyler Walker was probably optimistic if he was thinking he was going to get another penalty down from John Moss. But Arsenal now have the break. They need to score the next goal, Arsenal, otherwise it's curtains. But I have to say, Forest, in terms of chances, as we see Wellock replaced by Nikita, as this game now takes another extraordinary twist as Walcott tries to go in there, as he tries to go on the end of the ball from Debuchy, but the referee or the linesman likes for a throw. Sean Massey's had a good game, I think, running the line tonight. She's done terrifically well. Still, Arsenal gone forward. They're looking for the sequel, looking to get back into this game, and in the end Walcott can't inspire them to get round. It's been smuggled away for a goal kick to Nottingham Forest. And there's some very, very angry Arsenal fans away to my right hand side. They're trying to cheer their team on, but there's a lot of angry looks on several of the Arsenal fans' faces, and I tell you what, Arsenal Fan TV is in danger of being in meltdown tonight. They've had some appalling results in the last 3 or 4 years, but nothing as bad as what they're experiencing here. And I have to say, Wenger was quite arrogant with his selection. Certainly amongst the substitutes, you'd have thought you'd have put the big guns in reserve just in case they were in a position like this, but here they come now, looking to try and get back into the game, and they've got a corner out of it. Terrific defending once again. And Welby with the break down the right, but Forest are in complete control. Arsenal, yes, they might have possession and all that jazz, but if you don't make anything of those possession stats, it's virtually worthless as that corner comes in from Walcott. But again, Forest with enough bodies back and just hook it as far up the field as they can. And now everybody bar a defender and a goalkeeper for Arsenal are in the Nottingham Forest half, but now Forest having to come out and defend from the front. 67 minutes gone, and it's that mistake from Rob Holding to give away that penalty for a foul on Young Cash going to be the difference between Forest, Arsenal staying in the Cup and now going out. I think they're tumbling out the FA Cup, who's got a unique record of never being beaten in the third round. Well, he's going to get that taste, that horrible taste of losing in the third round. He's been the Arsenal manager for over 20 years. The last time he lost to lower league opposition was to Blackburn Rovers back in 2013 when they lost 1-0 at the Emirates in a 5th round game. Now it looks as if history could be repeating itself for only the 2nd time, as Arsene Wenger could well be losing to a lower league opposition as a manager for only the 2nd time in his FA Cup history. He's won the FA Cup 7 times, so he's had his lion's share of success. It's seldom he's had too many failures in this competition, but we might be seeing one here today, and Arsenal will be crashing out in the third round unless Welbeck can make something of it. Walcott is in there too, and he gets his shot in, and it's a great save by Smith, and that's the first thing Smith has had to do for quite some time. I can't remember him up until that point making a very meaningful save like that, but he was up to the challenge, and sometimes when you haven't had much to do as a goalkeeper, that is a true test of a goalkeeper's character. And Smith was up to the challenge to keep out Theo Walcott. Arsenal still harbouring opportunities, and here's Tyler Walker, the substitute. He's got Berriton up ahead of him. Has to go back though. And now Walker takes possession once again. And again, Osborne knocking it back. Osborne will get it a second time. Plays it infield once more. Forest now with Mancienne. Just, Traore Robert just knocking it back to Mancienne now. Traore just digging a ball forward. Vaughan is in there, the wily old professional as well. He's won the ball back and almost got Berriton on his way again. Vaughan in there with another tasty, happy with that one. And now Tyler Walker through. Walker now to finish it for Forest. He's inside the area, but Arsenal have got enough men back in blue and in fact have won the free kick against Tyler Walker, and a free kick to Arsenal. Nikita in fact was the opportunity. It was a great opportunity, a great save there from Smith, and it looked as if Arsenal were going to get back into it at 3-2, but they hadn't reckoned with this goalkeeper for Nottingham Forest, who's had a superb match. Everything he's had to do, he's done it competently and competently well. We're into the 70th minute of the game. 3-1, Nottingham Forest lead. 2 goals from Leo, the second a superb right-footed volley that will nestle sweetly into the top left-hand corner, right on the stroke of half-time. Then Berriton with a penalty after 64 minutes. Arsenal equalising through Mertesacker after 23 at 1-1, but Forest are really taking it from here on in. And this really has been a Super Cup tie, the best I think of the weekend, and surely the biggest shock, as we're now into the last 20 minutes of the second half. More than halfway through the second half. Brighton and Crystal Palace are the last 2 teams to compete in the third round of this weekend, and they kick off tomorrow evening at 7:45, 8. I think it's an 7:45 to 8 o'clock kick-off. I'm not quite sure there, but it's been a marvellous performance from Nottingham Forest, from the 0-1 to 11 if you like. They have been to a man superb. As Arsenal try to launch another attack, Smith lets it go, and a goal kick it is to Nottingham Forest. And I have to say, Joe Worrell has had an outstanding game, keeping Danny Welbeck quiet, and there are some worried looks, but there's no doubt about it. Forest have had the better of the chances. They've had more on target than what Arsenal have had, and it's no little wonder, despite conceding a lot of possession to the more illustrious opponents, if you can call it that, Forest are 3-1 up, and they deserve it. 3-1. I've got little or no doubt about that, because they've created opportunities. They've done more with their lesser possession than what Arsenal have done with their 70% or whatever they've had so far in the game. One ball forward again, looking towards Cash. Cash holds the ball up well. Berriton is there too. I think they do, when they get possession, Forest, they just do the basics and do the useful stuff, and they do it terrifically well. They forced a mistake there from the goalkeeper, who didn't kick it far enough, and Forest have possession deep inside Arsenal territory, which is where they probably want it. 73 minutes on the clock. Arsenal 3-1 down at the City Ground against Nottingham Forest in the third round of the Emirates FA Cup. And the holders look like tumbling out of this famous old competition as they go forward for another one. Berriton going all the way, crossing it back, and Walker was inside the 6-yard box, ready for a tap in. And I think Mertesacker saved Arsenal there. And now El Neni to get it forward for Arsenal. He's got Welbeck through the centre. Walcott is to his left, and still Welbeck. Welbeck keeps his head. Now then, Nelson, can he get the ball in? Welbeck again, edge of the area. Oh, he's shown too much of that, and David Vaughan, the wily old professional, winning it terrifically well. And now Berriton, and Vaughan making a great break, and here he comes again. David Vaughan now, one of the oldest men on the field, making a superb break. He's now getting back as well. Well, I thought he was going to have a day in the sun there, young old David Vaughan. He was a real wily old professional. So much experience, Premier League experience with Blackpool and with Sunderland, of course. And he's played against Arsenal many times before with those two clubs. so he knows what Wenger teams are like, and I show you what, that sort of experience, and so is Lehigh as well. He's got 2 goals, and he could get a hat-trick as well today. If he does get a hat-trick, what a day it will be in the Lehigh household tonight. Arsenal still trail Forest by 3 goals to 1 here. We're now into the 76th minute of the game, and now it's all hands on deck, and Forest have just got to keep doing the basics, and the basics right here. Here's a chance now for Debuchy to try and launch another attack, and Welby has it deep inside Forest territory. Now Arsenal really going for the jugular here. The ball down the right hand side, the left hand side, the cross in there towards Welbeck, and the goalkeeper's there, and he takes it again rather competently, and again confidently. How many times have I said that tonight? Well, this afternoon he's had a marvellous game, young Smith. He really has. He's done magnificently well. So has the back 4 of Nottingham Forest. As we go deep into the 76th minute of the game, we've had, I think now, 77 minutes. And we've got a free kick here. Quarter of an hour is definitely to play anyway, plus stoppage time. And what a performance it has been. You can't fault the effort of these Nottingham Forest players. They've done terrifically well. We're now into the we've had 76 minutes now, and it's Forest's game to lose. And if they do lose the lead, a 2-goal lead from here on in, they'll only have themselves to blame. Here's Mertesacker. No time to mess around with the ball now. They can't afford to take their time, Arsenal. They've got less than a quarter of an hour to save their FA Cup lives here. Down by the banks of the River Trent on a cold afternoon. But it's been a pleasant day in Nottingham, as Debuchy has to play the ball back. Mertesacker now, no messing about from him. El Neni to get it forward. Are we going to see Arsenal out in the 3rd round? FA Cup history could be in the making here at the City Ground today. Ball forward now, chances here. Walcott is inside the area, ball back, and again good defending. This time Mancien getting back and denying, and a chance for the Arsenal as Walcott went charging forward. This is Walcott from the throw-in from Debuchy. He's been brought down. Sean Moxey right on the spot, telling John Moss to give the free kick against Tyler Walker. Time running out for Arsenal. 77 minutes on the clock. Nottingham Forest 3, Arsenal 1. But Arsenal have a free kick on the left hand side. Walcott to take it. It's going to be right footed from the right hand channel. Almost level with the 6-yard box of Forest actually. There's a big 2 in the wall there. Walcott sends it into the danger zone. It's a deep one towards the back post, and Forest trying to get it clear, and they've got it cleared as far as halfway. My goodness, this is going to be a proud day in the recent history of Nottingham Forest Football Club. They haven't had too much to shout about since 1999. Oh, a chance here. Owen Smith. Oh, he's lost it. Welbeck is going to score. And all of a sudden, one mistake from Smith. I've put the commentator's curse on him, because he came in, stood in, and I said all afternoon he's been confident and competent. Well, unfortunately, the goalkeeper's incompetence has cost Forest a goal here. And Danny Welbeck will never get an easier goal like that. The ball down the left hand channel to the left of the area. Goalkeeper came in, lost his bearings, lost the ball, and Welbeck from an acute angle to the left of the goal side foots it in with his right foot into the empty net, and all of a sudden Arsenal right back in this game. And I'm sorry to say that young Smith will probably end up on one of those Danny Baker blooper videos come next Christmas, I'm afraid. But Gary Brazil there, that's interesting. Calm, that's what he's saying. But it's 3-2 now. The game back in the melting pot. Tyler Walker with a shot at the other end, hits it tamely into the arms of the goalkeeper just to the left of the penalty area. There's a Forest player gone down there, I think. Referee's got to stop it. So 79 minutes gone. I think it's Berriton who's down, is it? I can't tell who it might be. I think it may be Ben Berriton. Referee talking to Mertesacker and Danny Welbeck. No, it's not. It's Cash, Matty Cash, and well, Arsene Wenger knows now he's one goal away from maybe forcing a replay at the Emirates Stadium a week on Wednesday. And young Matty Cash now being, well, he went in there to make a challenge, and in fact he got clattered there as Walker had the shot initially. I think the referee played an advantage because Tyler Walker was in a good shooting position. Gary Brazil's side now with a very slender lead. They had a comfortable lead at one point. Now that goal from Arsenal and that mistake from the keeper has now put Forest under a lot of pressure now as we go into the final 10 minutes plus stoppage time of this third round cup tie. It's right back in the melting pot once again. 5-goal thriller, that is for sure. Berriton and El Neni I think are going to contest the drop ball, or is it just going to be a bit of sportsmanlike thing and they're going to let Arsenal have it here? It looks as if they are. Well, I'd like to have seen a drop ball contested, and here come Forest again, and Ben Berriton again making the break, and he couldn't just thread it through to young Matty Cash, otherwise that would have been curtains definitely for Arsenal then. And I was fancying a Nottingham Forest, if they got that into that position I think they would have scored again. But it's still one goal in it, 3-2. All of a sudden this game has toed and froed all the way. But Arsenal, even if they do lose this game, I don't think Wenger can have any complaints about the scoreline, because Forest have been much clinical, much sharper than Arsenal have been this afternoon. Apart from the 2 goals they got, and they've been gift wrapped really by the Forest defence. They've been quite toothless up front, and the substitutions they've got on the bench available to them, I just don't think they've got enough quality on the bench. I think they needed the likes of Olivier Giroud, Alexis Sanchez, Mesut Ozil, Lacazette, not all of them, not in that team. And you just think now, is that backfiring? Wenger will take a lot of criticism after the game should Arsenal lose, but they're on the attack now towards Welbeck, and just wide. Crossing from the left, Welbeck wants a penalty. John Moss says no, I'm not having any of that. Carry on with the game. The ball was threaded in terrifically well, and Welbeck went for the ball. Was he pushed? Well, I think maybe he's looking for that a bit, Welbeck. I think Mansfield is just standing his ground, and I think Welbeck goes down a little bit too easily, just like Ramsey did at Turf Moor a few weeks ago in the Premier League against Burnley. This time referee Moss not fooled by Danny Welbeck's theatrics, I have to say. Never a penalty in a month for Sundays. Now a chance for Forest at the other end. Cashes through, but so too is the goalkeeper. Takes it on the edge of the area, and he was just inside. What a finish to this game. But given away again, and now look at Traore bursting through. He's gone clean through, and now Debuchy gets back, trips him up the penalty. He took him from behind. He may have got the ball, Debuchy, but that's a penalty for me. Arsenal are complaining, and Forest have a chance once and for all to put the tie beyond Arsenal's reach. Yellow card for Debuchy. And but let's have a look at this enterprising run by Traore, the Arsenal man of old, running at the defenders here. And there's no doubt he took him from behind. That's a penalty. He might have got some of the ball, but he got a lot of the man, and a penalty had to be awarded. And Ben Dow with the Robert Dow now, sorry, with the opportunity to finish it off. And now the Arsenal goalkeeper's got a yellow card for taking the ball into the corner flag. Kieran Dyer will take the penalty. He's already got an assist to his name, setting up the first goal for Eric Leahy in the first half, which started the goal scoring off. But I don't think Arsenal can have any complaints about the penalty. I think that's a penalty. And Kieran Dyer now has the chance to really sink Arsenal good and proper. Debuchy complains. And if he can sink this penalty now, left-footed, he can really set him now. And he's gone in! He looped in the net and down makes it 4-2. But Arsenal are going to the linesman. They're complaining here. It may well be needed. They may well need to check the legal vehicles of this penalty, because Forest are stunned here. The Arsenal players are complaining to the linesman and the referee. And this uproar here, controversy. He looked at, well, the ball seemed to have blown into the left-hand corner of the net. From now it's up to the official here, and he'll consult with the referee, John Moss. Big moment in the cup tie. Is it 4-2? Is it going to remain 3-2? Is the penalty legal? They're talking. And it's a goal! It's a goal for Nottingham Forest! The penalty stands, and Arsenal surely now are out of the FA Cup. Arsenal were claiming a double movement as the ball wrestled into the net. He slips. I just think it's just the left foot and the left foot only that touches the ball. I don't think there's a double movement there. And Arsenal again can have no complaints, and they're still surrounding the referee, and David Speed is in danger there of being sent off. And I think that's a replay, but that's the moment Nottingham Forest fans were hoping and craving, and they got the decision. And you know what? They deserve this 4-2 lead. 6 minutes to play. Arsenal can complain as much as they want. And as a self-confessed claret, I see this as karma, to be quite honest with you, because they got away with a lot of things at Turf Moor back in November. As we see a substitution, oh my goodness me. And Cash, who won one of the penalties, have run Arsenal ragged down the left-hand side, down the right-hand side, comes off to an outstanding ovation, and young Mackay now comes on for a 3-minute cameo. And he'll enjoy this for all it's worth. And young Matty Cash certainly milked it all for all it's worth. Meanwhile, Akprom comes on to replace Debuchy, who brought down Mertesacker. I think has already been booked as well. Welbeck, I think, has got in the book too. There's all sorts of confusion here as Arsenal now looking to try and make it 4-3. And, well, there we go. Ball's into touch for a goal kick, but I'll tell you what a finish. And yes, Mertesacker's got himself a booking for talking out of turn to the referee. That's been confirmed. But Gary Brazil doesn't look like a man who's on the verge of FA Cup greatness, does he? But look at the Arsenal fans, they're voting with their feet. 6,000 of them down there. When Arsene Wenger reckons there should be a double movement, we're just looking at it again. I think that's just the left foot myself. I think that's a perfectly legal penalty to me. Goes to hit it. Well, I'm not sure from this angle. There may well be a double movement. He's moving towards the ball. Now, maybe there is a little bit of a question mark over the penalty. Now and now a red card's been shown. Worrell's gone. We were looking at a replay, and all of a sudden there's been a foul, and Joe Worrell has walked. My word, it's all kicking off here at the City Ground towards the end of the game. This is what happened. He takes Welbeck from behind, and I think the referee had no doubt. I think he was trying to commit a professional foul so he could get men back. I think he'd already been booked at that point as well. So I think that's a second yellow card as Arsenal take the 3-kick, looking to get back in the game. So Worrell has gone. My word, what a finish. So a red card has been shown right at the end of this game. We're into the 89th minute of one of the great cup ties here of the season. Remember, he's got a 3-match touchline by Wenger, and he can't do anything on the touchline now. We're now coming up towards the last couple of minutes of the second half, plus stoppage time, and it's all hands on deck for Nottingham Forest as they look to protect a 2-goal lead, but they've got 10 men on the field, And now it's getting a little bit fighty. There's meaty challenges going in, all sorts, and I thought he was going to kick off for a second on that far side. Well, John Moss has had to have his wits about him today. I don't think the red card was in any doubt at all. It was a horrible tackle, although you would... Well, I have to say, looking at that penalty again, was it a double movement? Did Dow touch the ball twice? It's hard to say. As Arsenal looked, but Brereton is absolutely run himself into the ground, and I think he may well have to be withdrawn. We're now into the stoppage time. I think we've got about I don't know how long we've got left at the end, but I'll tell you something. We've got about something like 4 or 5 minutes at the end of this second half. I think we've got 4 minutes. And we're going to see a substitution. Oh, we're going to see a substitution in a minute. I don't think so. But it's Traore with a throw. Forest fans are absolutely cock-a-hoop for Wenger now. This was a game he could ill afford to lose. They do have the League Cup semi-final on Wednesday night against Chelsea. Over 2 legs, but it's going to be a tall order against the Chelsea side with just 1 defeated 16. Although they battled out a board draw with Norwich in the Cup yesterday. They've got a replay at Stamford Bridge. So it's going to be a catch-22 for Antonio Conte on Wednesday night. And now a chance now. Chance here for Welbeck, saved. Walcott might finish it. No, the angle was too much acute. And I think Smith got a hand on it too. And he couldn't direct it into the net. All he could do was knock it into the side netting, and it was a mistake by the Forest defenders. Welbeck got through. Smith spread himself like an eagle, got a flick on it, and he just did enough. As we see again on the replay, there's the save. And Walcott battling to try and get there before the angle became too acute, and he just couldn't make it. And Smith made an extraordinary save and a goal kick as well. Substitution. Substitution made. It was Nikita rather who had the original shot, but off comes Matt Mills, or comes Kieran Dow, who scored the goal that sends Forest into the 4th round of this season's FA Cup. And Matt Mills comes on to replace him. This is going to be one of the biggest upsets of the 3rd round of the FA Cup. Ben Brereton gets the Man of the Match award, and quite rightly so. I think he's had a very good game. He's been given the Emirates Man of the Match. We're now dealing in seconds for Arsenal now. Their interest in the FA Cup surely now at an end. As we come towards we're deep into the 3rd minute of stoppage time, the 4th minute now. As Arsenal look to try and get back into this game, but they've been dispossessed again down that right hand side. And now it's a chance here for Forest to break out. There's an offside flag there against Ben Brereton as Barry Mackay tried to play a through ball. We're now dealing in absolute seconds now. The Forest fans want the whistle from John Moss, the referee. All eyes will be on him for the next few seconds or more as Arsenal try to somehow probably try and get 2 goals here to save their FA Cup skins. El Neni for Arsenal. Now then, Walcott. Can he dig out the cross in towards the 6-yard area? Forest just hacking away as up bottom of the field as they possibly can. What a finish here. Terrific advert for the FA Cup. And the shock of the round is definitely on. Seconds remaining here at the City Ground. All eyes on Jonathan Moss. The Forest fans praying for the whistle. Forest are nearly there. 4-2 up. And what a performance they put in today. To perform the shock of the round. It's over. Nottingham Forest have done it. 2 goals from Leahy. The second a superb 20-yard volley. That went right into the corner. Brereton scored from the penalty. Then there was the penalty, the 4th penalty, the penalty from Dowell. Was there a double movement? Who knows? But Nottingham Forest Goals from Welbeck and Mertesacker not enough for Arsenal, and now the pressure's on Wenger, knowing that he's got a big week. He's still got the League Cup to play for, and the Europa League now. They've become more important competitions for Arsenal, but for Nottingham Forest, what a night for them, and they'll celebrate long into the night down by the banks of the River Trent. It's Nottingham Forest 4, Arsenal 2, and this surely has to go down as the shock of round 3 of this year's FA Cup. Well, there we go. What a performance. Nottingham Forest take a bow. That was from earlier on today, and I still haven't got my voice back all these hours later, but I've got to tell you what a game it was. It was a terrific performance by Nottingham Forest, and I've got to tell you, I don't think they could have any complaints. Gary Brazil got it right tactically, he got it spot on, and I don't think you can have too many. I don't think we can have too many complaints that the better side won on the day, and there is no doubt in my mind that the referee was right. But let's hear from Arsene Wenger, and let's see what he thought of his team's defeat to Nottingham Forest this afternoon.
Arsene, how frustrating the way that game panned out, that you were not able to, be involved more on the touchline.
It was very frustrating, and unfortunately, it was the case to on top of that to see the team lose, because we played against a very good Nottingham Forest team, and it was sharp, focused, won the challenges that were decisive, and I think overall our performance was not good enough today to win the game.
Many times in the past we've seen you make multiple changes for cup games. Usually you do go through. However, this time on the bench there wasn't much to come on in terms of experience. Well, was that intentional for you to name such a young bench?
No, we had many players on the edge. We play again on Wednesday. As you said, when you don't win, the selection is always questioned. We had that done many times, and I believe we had an experienced team, despite the fact that selection will be questioned. We had 8 or 9 international players and only 2 young players in the team. So I believe as well it would be a bit easy to just think that was the problem today.
Right, so you're implying there was other problems today. What would they be?
First of all, I would say the quality of Nottingham Forest's performance shows that the championship, when the teams are like that, they are very difficult to beat. I knew before the game that away from home in a game like that it will be difficult, and but defensively you cannot afford the mistakes we made today to get away with a good result.
Just finally, there was a lot of conversation about the penalty decision, that when the penalty was taken, it may have been hit twice by the player. What's your view of it?
I didn't see it, and for the referee, honestly, I've said what I had to say. I don't need to say anything anymore in the...
And neither do we. We don't have to listen to it anymore. But Arsenal, to be fair to Wenger, he's paying tribute there to Nottingham Forest. They were the better team, and I think he's probably right there. To be quite honest with you, Gary Brazil, however, what a performance by him! Terrific all the way round. And some terrific, I have to say, some terrific performances really by a lot of the team, by the Forest team. We're going to try and find a reaction from Nottingham Forest's end of things, but at the moment I can't. I don't know if we can or not, but we will try and. We will try and find anything at the moment, but But at the moment, anyway, we've got some reaction. I'll tell you what Gary Brazil said. He said it was a fantastic day for the football club. I may be a little bit biased, but I think it was a well-deserved win. There were some big performances from the players this afternoon, and I always felt comfortable that we would go on and win the game, and so it proved. It would be foolish to play the game Arsenal wanted us to, so we had to go on the front foot and get in amongst them. We didn't want to give them space or time on the ball to allow them to dictate the game. Our first 10 minutes showed our intent, and we really set the tempo of the contest, and I think he's absolutely right. I thought he was absolutely superb. Tactically he was spot on, and really was terrific. One of the raised stairs of the game was Eric Lehigh, who absolutely was put Arsenal to the sword with his 2 goals. One a header that started the scoring off, and then after Mertesacker equalised, scored that sumptuous volley from 20 yards, which sort of got everybody up and on their feet. Now, this is what he had to say after the game. In fact, he said, and that's again, we haven't got the interview, but we'll give you a quote from it. He says, Eric Lehigh said that he joked that teammate David Vaughan had robbed him of the chance to earn a new dog after he asked to take one of the second half penalties. Now, what Lehigh goes on to say is, my wife told me if I got a hat-trick any time during the year, I would get a dog. So I was trying to get the penalty, but Vaughan told me politely, I don't want to say what he said to me to go away. But that doesn't matter really, does it? I think Nottingham Forest can be absolutely pleased. As for Arsenal now, Arsene Wenger, it's not looking good for him. Although he has played tribute to Nottingham Forest today, they were the better team. Arsenal really have paid the price. Well, Wenger has certainly paid the price for his arrogance. There's no doubt about that in my mind, because I felt at the end of the day you've got to look at it and think, why did he not put Alexis Sanchez on the bench? Why did he not put Ozil on the bench? Why did he not put Giroud or Lacazette on the bench? Players that would have come on and turned the game. But I think he missed an absolute trick there, Wenger. And it's not often he makes ridiculous decisions, but I think he made some big ones today, and I think some of the Arsenal fan TV will make a, there's one fan saying it's Arsene Wenger's fault. Another supporter said Wenger just threw away the thing that saved it in his past. Some Arsenal fans want a refund. It's all kicking off. DT is, I'll only tell you a little bit of a snippet because there's a lot of swearing involved. DT has said Wenger was arrogant, have no insurance on the bench, and he also goes on to say our experienced players are, well, that's his troops, one of the other fans, he goes on to say our experienced players are cowards. And one other fan, Claude, he said fans are getting what they deserve for supporting Wenger. So there's quite a lot of bad blood there from the Arsenal fans. Mixed bag really, and this really isn't. And if they do miss out in the League Cup semi-final, which is over 2 legs, the first leg on Wednesday night, and that will be covered on the JB Claret channel. If Arsenal guaranteed that, then the season is in danger of really imploding for them, and then they only have the Europa League realistically as silverware. So a lot for Arsenal to think about. As for Forest, they'll enjoy tonight, they'll in the hat for tomorrow's draw, but Arsenal the biggest casualty of third round FA Cup weekend. I hope you very much enjoyed our delayed commentary on this FA Cup third round. From me, JB, we'll see you later. From me, JB Johnston, we'll see you later on in the week for the Arsenal-Chelsea game, commentary of that in the Carabao Cup semi-final. But until then, take care, and I'll see you on Wednesday. Bye bye.